Dot age, we are going live. I'm just going to settle things up. I think we are live on Facebook. And this is my second interview in 2 hours, 3 hours. So,
oh my.
No, there'll be 3 on Tuesday. I have lined up 3 on Tuesday, so that'll be amazing. I hope Facebook doesn't shut me for that.
Okay. So I have to tell you, I'm usually on the other side asking the questions. I'm never on this side, so I'm a little nervous.
Welcome, don't be. You're an inspiration. So I think my Facebook is set. If it happens, I'll fix it. Welcome, everybody. I know you just met me just like an hour and a half back, bringing a beautiful 90th mom of mine, Zara, who's a healer on Facebook. And, she was here and we were having such amazing conversation. And then I had to bring Dr. Mary here. She's amazing. Like, I just know a little bit about her at the moment because I just met her yesterday, but I know a lot about her in those moments, and there were so many connections that she was leaving and she was going for a trip, and the next 1 week all 100 moms are going to be done, so I didn't want to miss out to her, so I'm catching her today for this interview. Doctor, welcome to the book. I'm very excited with what you're doing, and I'm so excited to know more about you, and I'm so excited to bring this interview to the world who's watching very carefully. So welcome. Please introduce yourself, because women who live their story and moms who live their story tell their story the best. So let's start with your story of how it all began and where are you, and then we'll go on to being you as a mom, and we'll keep moving forward.
Well, Chika, I want to thank you so much for inviting me, and I can't tell you how honored I am that I'm here today with you and part of this project, and I wish you all the best with it, because I think you've got a message to share with the world. It's an inspirational message, and as we discuss today, you will see why I believe so much in what you're doing. So you asked me, I really was surprised when I got the call yesterday, because I am a mom. Yes, I am a researcher, I am a philosopher, but I never thought that there was anything special in any of that. But with our conversations, as we're discussing, I'm realizing the similarities in our beliefs, in what our goal is. And even though to me, in my heart, being a mom is a vocation, and it is one of the most important jobs that we have. And you're asking me my story, and you asked me to start from the beginning. And I guess that is important, because I come from an immigrant family, came from Sicily to Canada, poor, with absolutely nothing. I am one of 3 children. I am the only one who went on to university. We've got a beautiful, strong, tight-knit family. I learned my family values from them. And then I was married into another family that just, I always say, taught me how to truly love unconditionally, which I believe that we're all called to do. I actually just lost my mother-in-law this week, a mom who became my mom. After my mom passed, I lost my mom very early on, and I just lost my mother-in-law, who was my mother longer than my biological mother. So this project and this interview today it is very timely, because the importance of mother in my life. So thank you again for including me. So my story, I really don't think it's anything extraordinary. I was raised by this Italian father and mother, and our goal was to get out of poverty, to become something. With the guidance of my parents, they looked at me, and as parents are supposed to do, is guide your children. I was guided. Basically, they weren't educated. They had a 5th grade education, and my father looked at the world and said, well, you've got an education. You can be a lawyer, a doctor, an accountant. Those were my 3 choices. And basically, well, you're good at math, Mary, so you're going to be an accountant. So I ended up in the business world, and I was an accountant, and I was a horrible accountant. I was a horrible accountant. I should never have done that. But it's part of my story now, and I talk about it when I speak, because I've learned now that had I honestly been in tune with who I really was born to be, I would never have gone that route. But like with everything else, as the discussion you said with the tragedy you just had with your son, that accident, it always leads to something else. And my life in the business world taught me a lot, and it has served me well in my later years. I ended up moving to the United States, and like my parents, my husband and I decided to offer our children a better life. So we moved in the 90s to the United States, and we were there when 9/11 happened. And when 9/11 happened, I had a lot of questions. Why is this happening? They were a lot of philosophical questions, political questions, theological questions. And I was speaking to someone, and they said, you know, you need to go to this local university, a small college close by. There's someone there who might be able to answer those questions. And I ended up talking to someone who has become my mentor. Again, had no idea that this was going to happen. And I sat with her and talked like we're talking today. And she said, you know, Mary, we're starting a new program. It's a Master's of Theology program. Why don't you sit in on one class? So I sat in and, you know, Theology 101. And I was blown away. It captivated me, and it fed me like nothing else had ever fed me. And long story short, that one class ended up in a Master's of Theology. And at the end of it, I started to see the connection in the world and how things happen, and our positioning, and how we're all called to work together, that there's this overarching story that we all fit in. And I was asked to teach as soon as I graduated. And I come from the business world. I've had 3 years of theology, and I was asked to teach, and I did it. And I said, heck, I felt like I knew less then than when I started the program. So that led me, because I had even more questions, to a doctorate. And I ended up getting a doctorate in theology. And my focus was on human development. How do we become who we're called to be in this bigger picture? And my research this is where my business background, my economics and my accounting and that part of my brain started looking at, how does this all fit in? And so I I was attracted to an economic theory called the capability approach. And so you might be familiar with this individual. I started researching Martha Nussbaum, who went to India and did her research there. And I always instinctively knew that women and mothers played a very important role in human development. They are the first gaze that a child sees of the divine. They have, John Paul says that, you know, women have a genius about them. It's instinctive, and we're all connected, and we speak like you and I were brought together, and within seconds we knew we were on the same page. It's something that's deeper within us. And so my focus on human development focused on women and the role women play. And I told my husband last night, you know, he gave me this line. It came from my mother's eulogy, and he called my mom the hub of the family. And I see women as the hub of society. And they are what holds our society together. And mothers are so important in that, because we are given the role of helping to develop good human beings. We are invited into this story to participate with the divine into helping to create these individuals. So my research focused on the role of women and mothers. As my research, what I chose to do is a actual practical philosophical and theological project. And I joined a nonprofit volunteering in 2002. which was a respite program for mothers and it was low-income mothers. And the reason I actually chose mothers was because mothers and women, when you're looking in poverty, they are what we call the marginalized of the marginalized. They will always put themselves behind their children, their husbands. It's just instinctive in us to take care of people, and we're very nurturing. And so in the capability approach, it looks at, if you develop a society that can take care of the mothers, everyone's covered. So my research was there, and I joined this organization as an actual testing of how I can bring in this big overarching capability approach into a small community. And we developed, I ended up taking it from this organization, and it became its own nonprofit. It's called Women Affirming Women. It's a fabulous organization. Please look it up. And it gives breaks. It gives respites, 4 days for mothers, because I don't know about you, how many times I felt like I was drowning. And I just, once you get that little break, you can come back and be that beautiful, nurturing mother again. But you need to take care of yourself. If you aren't healthy and happy and grounded, you can't be a good mother and nurturer. So we offer a 4-day program. So I did that, and I ended up working with the capability approach, the association. I ended up heading up their, it's like a small think tank on how religion, culture, and theology affects human development, how it's, and then I sat also on their ethics board. And then I was asked to come back and head up the master's program at the university. So for the last few years, I was the director of the master's program at the university where I started. Throughout these years, I have always coached and counseled mothers and women. And I started, like we're talking, I started seeing the connections in the different disciplines that spoke to who we're supposed to become from different perspectives, philosophically, psychologically, medically. And I was intuitively using an approach to help women to make decisions, to figure out things, to help them with their family, to help them with their marriages. But I started seeing that there was a pattern. And so over the last 5 years, my research has leaned towards developing what's called the method of transformation. And the method of transformation takes all these disciplines and in a systematic way from start to finish helps you to understand, are you living in this right story, and how do we figure out what your purpose is? And last night, I told my family that you invited me to this, and I said, I am not sure why Shika is inviting me, because I don't know what I can contribute. And I said, what am I supposed to say? What makes me different as a mom? And two of my, well, they all came back, and one said, Mom, just be you. And I think that's so key, authenticity as moms of, we have it. We have the blueprint. And that's what I teach. We already have that divine seed within us. If we're just us, we're going to be the best moms we can be. And so my daughter said, just be you. That's what you've always taught us. And my one son said, I think you need to say, Mom, what makes you special is that you saw very, very early on, before I was introduced to the capability approach or the Enneagram. I use the Enneagram tested, it's a psychological and spiritual testing tool. Before I was even introduced to that, my son Alexander said, you looked at us and realized that each of us is unique and each of us is different. And that you taught us to grow and be in that special way. And then my third son said, yeah, Mom, like you saw that I learned different than so-and-so. My gifts were different, and you encouraged that. And so I thought about it, and I said, yeah, that's our role as a mom. it's being able to stand back and see the genius in each of our children, and help them to become who they're called to be. So my story, that's my story in a nutshell. And I'm not sure if it's any special.
I don't. I'm not looking for a special story. I'm just looking for special you, because I'm already saying that, like, of course, I've been around mothers. I've been photographing mothers for 20 years. We have Francis and we have Debbie who are going excited all in the comments. That's what I was looking at it. They're loving this interview. But what's so special about you is that, one, like, all of us are just another shade of a mother, right? We're just shades of mothers. And I learned that in this process. When I started from there's no good mother, there's no bad mother. We all are shades of mothers. And have absorbed different things. Some have absorbed their childhood and bringing it to their motherhood. Some have absorbed their marriages and bringing it to the motherhood. Some have absorbed nothing and bringing a lot of stuff from a lot of stuff, other things. So these shades are all getting created with whatever this mother is absorbing, and hence these are just shades, and that's the first thing. Like, there's stories of all kinds. For me, your story is a wisdom story. For me, your story is a story of this wise woman who's sitting there trying to understand. I see a lot of wisdom in you, and I was very amazed that I'm sitting here and I'm talking about the mother pulse. I'm sitting here and I'm saying the solution to anything in the society is the mother pulse being aligned to, and everything. So that is what you said, and when you said that, which it just got attached, the whole thing for me. And for me, you can keep saving the forest and anything you want to. It'll not get saved if the children are not coming out and mothers are aligned. And
Absolutely.
mothers' faults, we need help. We're just going off the track. We're going away from the pulse. And all the efforts, like people like you who are making it come back to make them see that all the answers are here, and you're beautiful and you're gorgeous and you're amazing and everything is right here. And when I became a mom for the first time, I went to a very wise doctor. Like, I had one doctor who was in the hospital, and then I was recommended by my mentor. He just said that go to this doctor. He's a 3-generation doctor. So he looked at my son, and he's like, everything's beautiful, you're amazing, you're in control. And he held him and he was rocking, unlike when I see doctors just come check and go. And then he just told me while giving the child to me, saying, remember that the day you become a mom, that's the day her whole encyclopedia is downloaded inside of you. You don't need anyone to tell you what to do. You don't even need to tell you what to do. You will exactly know what to do if you listen to that encyclopedia. And then he looked at my husband. He said, do you know what? Even you have it. But just because men think they don't, is the day you become the parent, and the mother gets it first. She gets the download. She just has to know the download. And there were times when I was raising my child, when I knew there was nothing wrong, when everybody around me told me, go to the doctor, this is not okay, this is not fine. And I never went, and everything was okay. And there were times when everybody said, there's nothing wrong, we're just getting upset. And I knew there was my son had a bronchitis attack, and doctor said, good, you got him for this thing right there, the older one. And he's like, if you would have not brought him, they would have. And I could hear, like, I was so tuned with the hearing of the breath that in the middle of the night, he was just 5 months old, I could hear the breath going in a very odd way. Nobody had to tell me that. That there's something wrong in that breathing. It's not cold, it's not cough, it's something else. And he was getting an infection in his lungs at that time. So when I was introduced with that, and and then you have to fight the society all the time. You have to keep standing and saying, because we all judge mothers, workaholic mother, over obsessed mother, protective mother. They're just labels and labels and labels given to moms. And then they carry those labels, sometimes fight against it, sometimes leave them, but they keep carrying it. And that's what all showed in my pictures when I was photographing. That my God, they're carrying so much, apart from all the work that they have to do.
That's
So
right.
when you said that, it just aligned. And that's why you're here. So you're very special. Anyway.
Thank you. Thank you. And again, I say I'm honored and to be part of this special group. You said something interesting, how you called it the encyclopedia. I refer to it as the blueprint. We have that blueprint. Each and every one of us has that blueprint. And that mother, my last, I have to keep telling myself I have to stop trying to go out and keep, accumulating more knowledge and just start living it more. But the last kind of education that I'm in, and at my age, I hope this is the end, I'm now studying under Gabor Mate. And Gabor Mate says that one of the reasons that that mothers and the connection is that the brain cell of the mother is in the embryo and they share the same cells with the child. So there is that connection between that child when they're born and the mother, and the healing process when the child's sick or the mother's sick, they help each other. And then what is absolutely amazing, the embryo, the egg that was in the female child is then the grandchild. So the grandchild shares part of the brain cell with the grandmother. So to me, that is mind blowing when I heard that from a medical perspective. What you and I are talking intuitively that we know, medically, he's telling me why this is happening. And my world just goes.
It is mind blowing, totally. And when you said that, I had a Sufi singer. Sufis are
Yes.
spiritual. So she's a doctor, and she is actually she deals. Why am I forgetting such a common name of the doctor? Physiotherapist. She's a physiotherapist, and I had decided. I discovered her while I was a photographer. There was a back injury. I discovered her, and I looked at her. I'm like, "There's a poet in you." And she had smiled, and she was like, "Yeah." She was just working on me, and she was like, "Okay." And then after 3 sittings, she had just clipped in a CD to me, and I put it in my car at that time. And I'm talking about a good 10 years back, and I just clipped the CD, and I just heard this Sufi like, what is this? I called her, and I'm like, because she speaks very softly like that. So, and I'm like, Sapna, is that you in the voice? Because this is very, expanded voice. And she's like, yeah, that's me. I'm a singer. I brought her in as a mom because she mothers her. She brings that Sufism in her being a doctor. And I brought her, and then she said, and I was like, you know what? My son was asking me one day, how do you know what I'm doing? He's 8 years old, the older one. He's like, how do you know? I'm like, mothers know it. And
Mhm.
and she stopped me and she said, even they know it. What's happening to you? We think we know what's happening to you.
They
What's
know.
them or what they're up to? Even they know what they're up to.
That's
And
right.
And then I've heard these interviews and I've heard them about the children and mothers say, I don't know what happened. Suddenly he said this. Kids just don't know and they can't express what they're feeling, but they feel and they reach out to their mom at the right time and do something to ease it out, sometimes with words, sometimes with their actions, sometimes with some story happening. So even the child knows, and the connection you're talking about is what she told me. She's like, they can see you struggling, they can see you happy, they can see, and that's what we keep talking about. It trickles down when they see us. And she's like, that's how today my son sees me and he discusses with me at 8, who's your next mom? And when I tell him, you know what, just one more hour, I'm reaching 91st, I can see that he is equally, he's like, okay, go on, it's already, I understand it, versus what I want or whatever. So at 8, he's absorbing. And he told me, when I told you my son got burnt, the 2-year-old, and he came to me and he said, and I said, I don't know, how will I go with the interview? He heard me and he stopped and he said, you're almost there. You're 75 months done. You're just there. The connection you're talking about, we feel that it's one-sided sometimes, but it is happening. It's
No,
happening. It's just that
it's yeah, it's reciprocated. It's reciprocated. And like I said, instinctively we know it and we see it. But to hear a medical doctor who has proven it scientifically, who can tell us scientifically, just for me, it gives me confirmation. And I don't know, do we need confirmation as Shika, as moms? No, we don't. We shouldn't, should we?
that's what I'm saying. That when I was telling about the mother pulse, and I told you that it is an ancient pulse, and we're the keepers of that pulse. Because started talking so much stuff like that, these breakthroughs were happening in these interviews. I stopped talking like that because people will just run away. But I know
Oh,
I
you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
mother pulse. I feel that I know. I don't need outer validation. I know my child, what they need. And
Mhm.
you know, that's why it comes down to taking care of myself, because if I have to tune myself to that, so that I don't need outer validation, I need to take care of myself. Otherwise, the noise of the trauma, the noise of what we are carrying, the noise of what's happening
Yeah.
around us surrounds us while we are raising children, that we just get all confused and jumbled up. And this COVID has brought another kind of, there is no space to think because children are doing online. India's second year of online classes. It's not few
Yeah.
weeks, years of online classes. And you see your children, struggling in, like, there's so much happening. But if we give that space to that mom, and when I started this project, this space became that space for me where I could start thinking and speaking and understanding and learning and getting inspired and bringing 100 mothers who will inspire and join hands and say, we knew it, but we know it. One of the things when we were raising.
Mhm.
And when you say that it's a scientific validation, we don't need it, but still, when it happens, the aha moment happens, and you're like, yeah, we already knew it. And
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's interesting you say that space because spiritually that space is very important. Um, Psychologically, in my program, I draw from Viktor Frankl, and he says, "In that space is your power. In that space is your power to make your decisions." And when you get that quiet and you get in tune with your intuition and what you already know, that blueprint inside of you, you have the answers of how, to make the right decisions and to guide our children. And that's our goal, to guide our children.
absolutely. And I was seeing the comments. Here is Francis saying, we are told we need confirmation, and I think that makes us question ourselves. Me time is much needed, Anjana saying, Debbie is here as well. And all these have been incredible mothers. All of them are mothers in the book, and they are incredible because,
Hi,
like,
ladies.
yeah, all of them have had stories. And when I speak to them, and I'm just like, okay, so, like, they're just living it. Okay, so for me, like, recently what's happened is that when last week I needed help with cooking, and somebody had knocked the door and saying that, I need work, and I was like, okay, fine, I'm busy with work, you do the chopping, cutting, whatever. And I asked her, so what, who are at home? He's like, oh, she's like, there's a 3-month-old baby, there's a 2-year-old baby, and there's a 3-year-old baby. Taylor Charles. I was like, wow, 3 in a row, amazing. I hope you're not having any more because, in India, we don't want more population and these people can't afford more children. And then she's like, no, 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 we've just like done. And there's some stuff that was made and it was extra and I gave it to her. And when I gave it to her, I said, why don't you eat? You look tired. Because her husband had lost the job during COVID. And she's like, no, I'll keep it for my children. I knew,
See?
I knew
See?
that she was hungry. I knew
Yeah.
that she needed food, but because there's no money, she quietly slipped it. And now she brings a box, like for 7 days, she's been bringing a box. Because I told her, you bring a box rather than taking takeaways and all that, just bring a box, whatever we can. So I try to fill it up, keeping her children in mind. 3-month old, and I asked her, I said, like, you're away for 4 hours. who's breastfeeding the 3-month-old and what's happening. So they give rice water, and her in-laws are taking care of the child. And so when I hear that, when the mother says, "Keep it for my child," like that's a typical. When you know that, you know there is
Yeah.
no food at home. Then
Yeah.
then you know that the mother is going to think first of the children, and she didn't say keep it for
Always.
my children. She's like, I'll keep it for my children. So like my level of sensitivity to this was very high. It's going on another level. I can sense mothers living these stories. And then somebody asked me one day, saying that there were so many mothers who don't have money and living such incredible stories. Why are you not bringing them in the book? I said because they can't access computers, they don't have Zooms, and they can't do self-portrait, right? But I already
Mhm.
have in my mind, and the plan is again, I do crazy things, Mary, and I think whoever's watching will think that she has gone crazy because I just keep announcing mad crazy stuff. I just recently announced all 100 moms coming to India, and that was crazy enough. So now I'm announcing that I will equip these 100 moms with all the technology that they need to bring 100 more stories out, and that's like of stories of mothers who cannot afford to tell their stories through technology. So each mom goes out and brings one story, and there'll be another book. But there'll be another book, we'll do that. Like I will
One at a time. One at a time.
it keeps coming, and I keep putting it in the universe because it comes as a message. And when a question is asked, I feel that I need to do it because even if the book doesn't come, if we can express a story through pictures, and we can get that one story and see and live that story of that mother who can't express and give her hand to tell a story, we've done some good work because so many mothers will inspire, and those stories will also come out. And I don't need to with the world. I don't need to.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. This is live, and it seems that someone's walking in. So just one moment.
That's okay. Or you don't know my children walk in and drop lights. You can go get up, Mary, and check. It's okay. You go ahead. So I have Vilma, I have Francis, I have Anjana and Debbie. We're doing crazy announcements. 91st mom, the countdown has begun. How are you guys feeling about it? Excited? I am just going to have sleepless nights for next 7 days trying to reach the 100 moms anyway. That's okay. The live is a good part. Even if you get up in the live, it's all right.
I am so sorry. Someone just walked in the front door. So
I'm telling you, I've had my lights being dropped because my son is sneaking and trying to get something behind the light and everything. Everything is good. Milma is saying, great morning with great company. So we can talk. Like Mary, I can talk to you for hours. I can talk to you for hours because you're a deep well with so much wisdom and so much inspiration and so much knowledge, that we will do something with it. I know, like something will come out of it for these 100 moms. There's something will come out of for many moms. But we've nailed the fact, at least we are voicing it out, that the mothers need to be the one in focus to solve everything. I mean everything. I also feel political issues. I also feel, the issues with forests, the issues with like a mother just knows how to save it and protect it because we are an ancient pulse. So it's
absolutely, absolutely. And I'm honored to be part of this. And anything I can do to help, just let me know.
already helped us with a lot of wisdom dropped here and confirming that this is going in the right direction. So your coming into this book is a confirmation that this is all going well. So what about self-portrait? Let's do that. And I just want to introduce you to self-portrait part because I see through my camera what mothers are carrying. And I decided very early in my life that this extra thing, just below that, there's this beautiful being, right? Who's just hiding, she's not showing up, she's not doing anything. She's putting her children in front of her, she's only taking the pictures of children, she's doing all that. It's just below this is this beautiful woman who needs to express herself. And that's why the only condition of the book was every mother will do a self-portrait and a story. Not just a photo, it'll be a story told through self-portrait. it that this is my story, and there's all the support there in the groups to do that. So don't get scared of the how. So what do you feel like? It especially happens to mothers. We're gifted this the minute we become moms, and our bodies change, our attention changes, we don't take care of ourselves, and we just go, and then suddenly one day we see ourselves in photos and we're like, oops, we're not, you know.
So it's interesting. And one of the reasons that I said yes to this, I take so many pictures. I'm the photographer. I'm not a professional photographer, but I'm always the one that takes pictures because I want to capture the magic that's happening at the moment. So I'm always, there's tons of pictures. I'm never in a picture. I hate being in a photograph. So when you approached me with this, I thought, wow, this is a challenge because I hate seeing pictures of myself.
And
So
welcome to the world. Welcome to the world of 100 moms. Most of them do here never liked it, but now loving it, embracing it, and expressing it through self-portrait. So will you.
okay, I trust you as a
Yeah.
mom.
Frances, Shika will take care of that. She's laughing because I've taken care of Frances. We've got the most beautiful picture of Frances coming out. But that is, and just the fact that we need to gift our. So I tell this to people again and again. I was 6 years old when I didn't have my mom, and she was taken away because she was schizophrenic. I don't have a single picture of my mother. She should have gifted me one picture of myself with her. To hold on to when you become a mother, holding your children, the sleepless nights, to not have a picture with your mother
Yeah.
is very tough because where is the anchor? And
Yeah.
I was doing the same thing, being a photographer, because I hate myself, I don't like myself, I think I'm cheap, I'm not so pretty, I'm not so beautiful, I've become fat, there's dark circles there, whatever, whatever is happening to me, and I don't have time. But what about them? Because pictures have the power to change courses.
Yeah. So I said my mother-in-law just passed away this week. And part of the grieving process, we brought together all the grandchildren and they went through all the pictures and they created a video. And the healing process, the laughter, the joy, the memories they had in those pictures was just it was heartwarming, it was therapeutic. And at that moment, I thought, I'm not in any pictures. I'm never in pictures. If this were to happen to me, I'm not sure there's going to be nothing. Or there is. My daughter said, you're in more pictures than you think because she's been sneaking pictures because she's now a mom. She's now a mom. But no, so this is a challenge to me, Shika, that you're asking me to take a picture of myself.
It's a gift to your children. Challenge for you, but it's going to be a gift to your children. But remember, one day your children are going to open the book again and again, and this book, and they'll be like, my mom was honored in a book for being a mom, and she did a self-portrait, and she expressed herself and told the world, this is who I am. Because I always say that, we have started staying in boxes in our head, in our pictures, and what we do is we go and we smile and we're out.
Yeah.
Who knows, my mother used to tie her hair like that and she used to walk around, or who knows, my mother used to wear this pajama, or who knows that she used to also laugh and she used to make weird faces. And where is the shade of mothers that we want to gift it to them? If at all we want to be in pictures, why are we just standing and smiling and going? They don't want to see hundreds of them smiling and standing and going. They want to see
Yeah.
the woman who gave them birth. But we have so much that we are carrying, and we're like, and you dare not take the picture. Don't put my picture. Did you see that picture? It's so horrible. We're so afraid that we're going to be judged. We're so afraid that we're not enough. We're so afraid of everything.
You are reading my mind.
Because we all are the same thing, Mary. We all feel that. Our children look at us as the most beautiful thing, These days I'm so busy. I was quarantined and my skin had become dry. I will tell you what my both kids did. One is 8-year-old and the second 2-year-old. My 8-year-old came and rubbed it and said, "Ma, you know what? Once you stop, because I'm still breastfeeding my 2.5-year-old, when you stop the breastfeeding and he starts sleeping, you will have good skin." And he just went away. My
Oh,
second one comes, my younger one comes and touches my skin and says, "You got boo boo? Have you got boo boo?" And he just kept on touching it.
oh.
I was like, "You see me. You see me. You're reminding me to take care of myself in your language. You're reminding me that you are beautiful and it's okay." They never
Mhm,
said, "Yucky mom, look at your skin, just get away from here." They
mhm.
language to show us what they are, and I was amazed. And both of them did it on the same day, and maybe my skin was looking a little dry.
Now, most likely you needed to hear it at that point.
And I wanted to take care of myself, and I needed to take care of myself. And when you give that space to your children align with you. But
Mhm.
get so used to, they will, if you don't do this, they will become like this. If you don't do this, they will become like that. You are taking too much this thing. You're an obsessed mother. You're a workaholic mother. You're not taking care. That these moments that you know that they know, you never know. If that
Yep,
makes sense, I just said it.
that's right. Mhm.
So it happened to me 2 days back, and then my husband looked at me and said, "What's happening?" I was like, uh, "They're just telling me that I'm not taking care of myself. They're just telling me that I'm not taking." That's their language. That's
Mhm.
Even the younger one said, "You got boo boo?" I was like, "Yeah," and I'm trying to hide it, and I'm trying to put full sleeves down and do everything, but they saw it, and I know
Mhm.
everybody has that moment. So what I'm saying is that we're going to break this. These 100 moms are going to express themselves in the portraits, and going to these 100 families are going to celebrate them for generations. I'm saying that this book will come out like a thing passed on, like Harry Potter. My grandmom was in a world book. My great grandmom was in a world book. So it's going to be passed on like that. That's the quality I'm looking at, and we're all going to work hard to bring that quality out. Mary, you're beautiful and you're amazing, and I'm so glad.
Thank you. As are you.
I'm so glad to meet you. So let's end the interview with this book is called 100 Self Portrait, 100 Dreams. And what is Mary's dream?
What is my dream? Oh my goodness. I guess my dream is my prayer. And I have a personal one and a larger picture dream. So my dream always in my prayer is for my children to really become all that they're called to be, to live in love and find that love that we're all invited to participate in, and to be able to provide for themselves and their family using the gifts that our Creator has given them. That is my daily prayer. That is a very personal thing I just shared with you, but that is my daily prayer. Um, Overall picture, when you ask what do I want to dedicate my life to, is on a larger. I think I just read it to you because I was asked as my final slide in this presentation that I have to this week. They said, "Mary, in a nutshell, what do you want to say that you do?" And I said, I said, "I want people to understand that your mission as life is to know who you were born to be. Your purpose in life is to live it. And my dream is to be able to help people to figure that out."
Yeah, I'm sure you already helped many, Mary. I can see it. I can feel you already helped many. And we needed a mom like you to hold many moms. Like there are almost 100 moms here, and you'll get to meet them and be with them in the book and celebrate motherhood. I can talk to you for hours spontaneously, and I knew it yesterday when you spoke to me. And we will bring this out that you don't need this outer validation. You have the pulse. We'll do whatever we can together, maybe through this book, that we can, to make everybody believe that you are in control and you know it, and it's
Every
all
single, yeah. Every single one of us. If we could just tap into that blueprint within each and every one of us, and that blueprint comes from a larger blueprint that we all share together, which you call the mother pulse. The mother pulse. That's what I'm going to call it from here on in, and I'm going to say Shika named that the mother pulse.
Not on me. It came as an ancient pulse word first. There's an ancient pulse. You're a keeper of an ancient pulse as a mom. And then a dinosaur came to me because my son loves dinosaurs. I'm like, even the dinosaur had that pulse. Even that dinosaur is saving the child. Like, the dinosaur is trying to save the eggs and the child and whatever's happening, predators and everything. It's always the mother trying to protect, like, in everywhere. So, can you imagine if the dinosaur, why are we losing it today? And that's why this whole earth is shaking ups and down, because
You're absolutely right. We've got to bring it back.
Start by bringing notice to it, start by having open conversations about it, start by expressing visually, because visuals speak a lot of things. And you're just
Well, again, I'm very honored to be part of this project. I think you've got something important to share. So thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Mary. And everybody is like blowing up the chat here. Francis, Vilma, and everybody is joining hands with us, because the countdown has begun, 91, and I have some incredible moms coming in. I don't think interviews are going to end, but we will end at 100 moms for the 100 pages of the book. But lots of stuff is coming, and it's all coming once we finish the 100 moms. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for giving me this time and accepting to be part of this book. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And I look forward to hearing from you.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.
Don't go off. I'm just going off live, and then I'll say bye-bye to you in person.
Okay.
Hi, Vilma, Francis, Anjana, and Debbie. Thank you for watching it, and thank you for all your hearts. And I'm going to read the comments later and see what you all have to say.